Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Rumbi from Tulia, and I'm here today for our Immigration Fridays. Every Friday, we talk about immigration issues, questions, and we address questions that we have. So welcome. Thank you for joining. My name is Rumbi, and I'm the founder of Tulia, which is a community interest company that supports migrants. So yeah, I'm welcome. Thank you so much for joining. It's our Immigration Friday. Immigration Fridays. I'm happy to be here live today. Usually we do pre-recorded. I hope that you're here for the immigration. I know there's some people who might be here for other things, but here we talk about immigration. Our page is here to empower, to educate, and to bring about restoration. And today we are talking about sponsorship, because we've had so many questions, and we've talked about this before, but we're coming back to talk about it some more. So welcome. Please drop a hello in the chat just so that I know that you're there. Good morning. So before I start, hi Renika, hello, hi. I hope you're all good wherever you are. My name is Rumbi, as I've said, from Tulia. Rumbi Funzawabaya. Tulia is a community interest company which provides advice, support, and assistance to migrants of all different origins. I think we initially started with African migrants, and we've moved to just migrants from all over the world. We provide legal advice, we provide support, we provide counseling through our various partners, training programs, and we also work with corporates, so providing advice to them, statutory services to the council, to other charities. We help them to help the people that we serve. So every Friday we do an Immigration Friday. Today I know that I've got more people than we usually have, and it's probably because people are here for other reasons, but it is purely just Immigration Friday. And today we are talking about sponsorship. So, you know, guys, there's bad news sells. I think everyone knows that. Bad news sells. People like to hear of bad news. And so when people speak about the current sponsorship visas, the carer visa, some people are now scared. There are people who were like on the verge of coming to the UK. They've got their certificate of sponsorship and they're ready to come. But because of what they're reading, what they're hearing on social media, and bad news sells like it goes like wildfire. So some people are actually now were contacting us to say, is it safe to come there? Will we be okay? Should we come? You know, is it still open? Shakavarwa? Have people been banned? So today I'm just addressing some of those questions that people have been sending to us on our Facebook and on our WhatsApp, asking questions for their relatives, asking questions for themselves to, should I still take advantage of this? And maybe sometimes we make an assumption that everybody knows about the skilled worker route, but maybe people don't. So perhaps just a little recap for those who don't know that support care workers, senior carers, following Brexit, recruitment of international workers opened up, didn't it? It opened up to the whole world. It opened up to everyone. So the jobs that were were done by EU nationals have now opened up, and it's been for a while, and I know there's a lot of flurry and talk about it, and we are seeing many people coming through now as senior carers, as care assistants, as support workers. Traditionally it was people who were skilled, so it was accountants, it was engineers, it was doctors, it was nurses who were qualified. But now, because care assistants can come, they are not skilled workers, but they are on the shortage occupation list, which makes it easier for them to come. They can come on the health and care visa, and it's totally opened up the doors for many people. So there's businesses which are run by smaller business people, businesses providing care, supported accommodation, all sorts of smaller businesses who are now recruiting from abroad. So when you start something new like that, it obviously comes with hiccups, doesn't it? It comes with challenges. It's a learning curve for everyone. It's a learning curve for the employer because their workforce has increased fast. Their business has increased. Their outgoings have increased. It's a learning curve. For the people who are coming, it's also a learning curve. So wherever there's change, wherever there's transition, and so that's what we've seen. And because of that, people are scared. Some people are scared. Some people are desperate to come, but some people are scared. And so I just wanted today to allay some of those fears, to talk about what we've seen, the experience that I've seen with some of the employers that I work with and the people that they work with, and to encourage people that, if you're thinking of this, don't give up, keep looking, keep searching, and, don't be too desperate to just go with anyone. Don't fall foul to human traffickers and things like that. So it's important to just keep it going. And I want to, if there's anyone, please, if you've got comments or chats or experiences and you want to share, please do. Please share those experiences. We're talking about sponsorship. So we support migrants, as I've said. And I don't know if anyone's been following the news about Rwanda and what's happened in Rwanda. So much has happened, and not in Rwanda, but with the removals of new arrivals, asylum seekers, to have their asylum cases processed in Rwanda. And do you know that people pay the human traffickers like tens of thousands of pounds to get here? And why do they pay so much money? Some of them are genuinely fleeing, but others are coming here for better opportunities. So we all know that, there's better opportunities here. There's opportunities. It's great. And there's opportunities. For some of us who came here 20 odd years ago plus, we've seen the opportunities. And for new arrivals and people who are still there, there's loads of opportunities. And so that's why people will pay so much even to come on a boat across the English Channel, because they're coming from North Africa and they would do anything to get here. But we are, this opportunity is amazing because you can come here on a plane, you can use your skills, you can come and work straight away, no wahala, no stress, no problems. You come with your visa, you get into work, and you work. So the fears, I want to just address those. Thanks, Salome. Because the fears are real. Some people are now really scared. And sometimes when people just hear rumors that people, it's not every employer that's bad. It's not every Zimbabwean that's bad. And it's a few who maybe are having teething problems or where there's communication problems. But then there are others as well. You always find that there are rogue people. There's rogue employers in the Asian community. There's rogue employers in the English community. There's people who are rogue everywhere. So you will always get the bad apples in every society. It's not just unique to Zimbabweans. I've seen people saying it's us. It's not. It's human nature. So you will find that there will be employers who are not good everywhere. But they are good ones. And if you get the opportunity to be able to come here as an unskilled worker, as a carer, as a senior carer, I would say definitely take it. Don't allow fear to stop you. I was actually so sad to hear somebody had a course and they stopped because they were now afraid because of what they had heard in the rumor mill. You know, you can be at the edge of your miracle, at the edge of your breakthrough in your life, and you stop because of fear. So I just want to address that fear today. Don't allow fear to stop you. Have due diligence. Check everything that you have. Make sure that you've got everything on your part. So I know a lot of people they've done courses in Zimbabwe or South Africa or wherever they are. They've done their TB test. They've got their English qualification. They've got their certification. And now it's a case of just looking for employers. And that part, I suppose, is the difficult part. Because I've addressed this before on this live and said there's two types of employers. Yeah, there's not two, there's many types, right? There is employers who... Renika, thank you for that question. So I think that's where we'll probably start, you know? You've got the relatives who are ready. They've completed everything. And they're waiting for sponsorships. So it has to be an active waiting for sponsorships. There's two types. There's those who say, give me your money. We will process everything for you. And it's not that they are not legit. They are legitimate, but they can't afford to sponsor you, to pay. So they're saying, you want a job, I want an employee. I've got a job, I'm offering you a job for 3 years, and but I can't afford it. The cash flow yet. I said, I know that when you come, we'll get money, you'll work. And the person is saying, I want a job. So they meet in the middle. And it's lawful. It's not unlawful, right? It is lawful. But it's important for people to be able to make a choice to say what this recruiter is saying or this employer. Do I want to pay? Can I pay? If you can't, then you can't, isn't it? You can't. And, you know, you need to pay for your airfares. You need to pay for your visas. You need to pay for all the preparation. So there's a lot of money that goes into it. And then some employers will say, because I have to train you and all this, then we need our admin charges. And there's been a lot of talk about that. So I'm not going to go into whether it's right or wrong or what. You know, some things are business decisions, some things are money decisions. But sometimes when you want something and somebody else wants something, you've got to meet somewhere, right? But I've referred people on to some of my clients and because they've said this is how much we would want, and people are coming with the attitude of kutongesa to already. They're coming with that attitude. So if you're coming with your relative and you come with that attitude and you're not talking, then you're not going to get to meet anywhere. So there's lots of sponsors like that. Some are not willing to do it, and they're recruiting from other countries, which is fair enough because the whole world is trying to come to work in England. But others are willing. So it's putting posts, checking on Indeed, because there's so many adverts that come out on Indeed. There's so many adverts that come out on LinkedIn. There's so many Telegram groups where people are advertising. There is on Instagram. There's so many people on Instagram who are advertising. So those are all ways to get the jobs. So when you start looking, you look where? You can look on the list of sponsors. I know Farai Maforimbo has posted PDFs with all of the sponsors in health and care. So you can definitely go through all of those, contact them, send your CV, apply online on their websites and do that, right? Or you can also look specifically for adverts on Indeed. There's adverts that come out on Indeed. But there's many applicants, right? Because remember, the whole world is trying to come to this England. So you've got to keep applying and trying. So that's one. On LinkedIn, there's sometimes adverts on there. So you've got to try. On in our community, if you post, I'm on a women's group called Ladies of UK, and people will post on there. is there anyone who's looking for staff? Any jobs going? And people link up. They link up in inboxes, they link up. So network and link up for your relatives, especially those who are trying to bring their relatives. Network. Look out on posts. Sometimes we just advertise posts and they're there. I know there's a gentleman called Taffy Nyawanza, who's a solicitor, who also has many clients who also recruit, and he sometimes posts. There's so many ways in our community. And what I just want to encourage people is, you know what? A community that's divided, it doesn't grow. You know, the Bible tells us, I'm openly a Christian. Everybody knows that. So I often talk about what the Bible says. The Bible says that where there is a blessing, where there is unity, God commands a blessing. When brethren dwell together in unity, God commands a blessing. And where there is unity, of purpose and unity of mind, what do we all want? We want our relatives to come here. I have my nephew who came here. He's not on Facebook, thank God, so you won't see this. But I'm so happy. I've got my relative, my brother's son. I'm so happy he's here. You know, I've got my family, who are my relatives. I've got my husband's family, who are my relatives. I've got a few of my cousins, but I didn't have anybody like from my family where I was born. Like, so my brother's son is like my nephew, you know, he's my, tete. So I am so happy, guys. So everybody, we want our relatives to come. We've got lots of relatives. I've also got my other tete who's come, and everyone, you want your family to be together, to work, to prosper. And we want our nation to prosper. And we want to give employment to people who don't have it. And when we are united and we network within our community and not pull and tear each other down, but lift each other up, resolve conflict, resolve difficulties, resolve and plug in where there's learning, where there's a shortage, where there's no skill. You know, where somebody doesn't know how to run a business and they're causing chaos to their employees. We can grow together. Tichiwumbana. There's a man who has a Telegram group. I love the work that he does on there, because he just encourages people in the health and social care business to grow their business, to advance and to bring in people. Because the cake is big enough for everybody. We're not in competition with each other. Everyone. And then we can bring more of our relatives. And as a community, we grow and we develop. And so when people are networking within our community, we shouldn't be scared to say, because that's where the growth starts, doesn't it? It starts with us. So for these sponsorship visas, the answer lies in us to be able to bring and to help each other, even with difficulty. Because difficulty will always come, challenges will always come, kusanzwisisana will always come. And so every day there's new people getting licenses. It's also we apply for people. We are applying for them every day. New businesses are getting licenses and they want staff. So look out for those new businesses. Look out for adverts that are there. They're there. So don't give up. Don't give up and don't listen to naysayers. But know that the opportunities are there, right? So that's one way of getting them. Networking, talking to the people in your circle. I always say, don't you know anyone? You know, if they don't have a license, tell them you can get a license. Refer them to me. I can apply for the license for them if they don't know how to do it. And we work and we build our community together. And so that's one way. If they say pay a little bit, you meet in the middle. The other way is looking for big companies. So there's big companies that are recruiting all the time, and some of them you don't have to pay anything. They pay everything because they've got big budgets. So they've got lots of money. They can pay in advance. So that's another way. So for those who are asking, we've got our relatives. What do we do? Do what you can do to get your relatives ready. Yeah, you don't have to sign up to anyone's course. You don't really have to, but you can choose to sign up to a course, get experience, or you can use your transferable skills. I work with an employer who likes to keep anonymous. He doesn't want to be known, but I speak to him a lot about his recruitment. And one of the things he says is, I don't want to recruit people for money. I want to recruit people to grow my business. So I'm looking for the best caliber of people. So some people are actually looking for transferable skills. They're not looking for a Red Cross, because remember, the care work visa is an unskilled. You don't necessarily have to have qualifications to come, but it's good for you to know what you're going to be coming to do. But some people can use your transferable skills to be able to get into employment. So if someone is working in childcare, they run children's homes, for example, they might want people with a background in education, people with a background in youth work, people with a background in social work who might not want to be social workers, but who are in the middle. So that's another thing for us to be mindful of. We shouldn't have mentality yemakwai. We follow whatever anyone is doing, having a herd mentality. A herd mentality is a herd mentality. Could A has done this, so I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. No. For you as an individual, what skills do you have? What do you bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? What is it that you can bring? What jobs are you looking for? How can you apply your skills? And that's all available. But sometimes I think we're lazy. We want to do a copy and paste job. Because so and so did that, I'll do exactly the same. But we don't have to. We can look and see for our relatives what is it. It's the easiest way, of course, to come in with a care work visa. But if it's not working for you, maybe you can look at other avenues as well. I remember speaking to one young person about 4 years ago, and they said, I want to come to England, Sissy. How do I do it? And then I said, oh, well, why don't you do a degree with something that's in the shortage list? So he went to Women's University and did a degree in social work, volunteered for a year as a social worker, and is now here as a social worker working for the local authority. The relocation package was paid, everything, and they're happy, and they called and said, Sissy Rumbi, I'm here. And I said, oh, what happened? She goes, I did what you told me. I went to university, I did social work, and I've got a job, and I've come. So sometimes it's also then thinking, okay, what plan can I do whilst I'm waiting? What else can I do? What other visas are there? There's other visas, like if you've got money, a student visa, you can come, and then when you're here, it's much easier again. You put yourself ahead of the competition. Remember, it's global competition. It's not just competition with other people from your own country, but it's competition with the whole world to come for these jobs. So how do you put yourself ahead of the competition? And that's why then money comes into it, because the demand is bigger than the supply. It's a demand and supply issue. I'm not advocating for charging people. I'm just saying how it is and why maybe sometimes you're not going to make those connections. So look in your network. Look in your community where you are. Look online at adverts like Indeed, like LinkedIn, like I've said. Network within your community and look to see. Kuma church, who is there on your groups? Put posts and look, and you will find the jobs for your relatives as long as they are positioned right. And so, I think. In terms of looking for a job, probably that's it. I'm checking to see if there's any questions, but then there are not any questions. Druku make a sense. Am I really making sense? Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? So for those who are joining us, welcome. My name is Rumbi. Every Friday we have Immigration Friday with Tulia Group. And Tulia Group is a company, a community interest company that supports migrants. So we do advice, and we also do support. So we do a combination of services. We are doing amazing work. I am so privileged, to be able to do this work and to combine all the different skills that I have to be able to bring change to people. And I love it. I love my job. And so one of the things that we do is encourage people on safe routes to come to the UK, because we are working with the government. The government is trying to promote safety by stopping people from coming across the English Channel. So we empower and educate and give information to people so that they know that you don't have to come here koto. You can just come straight with a visa and come. And sometimes people don't know. We make assumptions that we think everybody knows. But there are still some people who don't know that there's a route to come here as a carer, as a support worker. So one of the other issues that has arisen, I think, is when problems happen. So we get problems happening. We like to think that we are gladiators. So we like to think that we are problem solvers and we help people to find solutions to their problems. using the law, using our networks, using whatever skills that we have to be able to bring solutions to problems. So we get a lot of people who are in crisis who call us. We get referrals from other charities, from local authorities. We get referrals from all over the place of people in crisis, and we love to problem solve and help people using all the different skill sets that we have in our team. So we have, when people are having problems, I'll just talk of one story of a person who was having problems with their employer, and they were scared of their employer because they were saying their employer was very scary, and they were traumatized, right? But we know people can exaggerate. So I think initially we say, you know what, join our prayer group, 6 a.m. prayer. Let's try and build resilience and help you. How can you get through this? Let's try and support you through this, because we know that settling in a new country is not easy. Settling in a new country is not easy. So we try and support people and say, Chiposhinga, are you getting paid? You try and encourage. But sometimes people are not, they can't. They just can't. Or there's a breakdown in relationship, because some employees are also quite rude, and they're rude to their employers, and they want to come and start ruling in a place. So sometimes the conflict can't be resolved. But it's always important to try and resolve conflict in a good, amicable way. So, that's always our starting point. Talk to each other and try and see how you can get round this. But where people cannot get round problems, we then advise legally. So when you do come, and that's the beauty of this nation, to be fair, that you're not coming as a prisoner, you're not a slave, you're not so like with modern day slavery, one of the other things is they keep your documents. You don't even know where you live, your address. You're kept as a prisoner. So you cannot leave, you cannot do anything. So sometimes the situation is not slavery, it's bad working conditions, it's bad communication, it's bad HR processes, it's characters, it's people who are not getting on, who cannot work together. It's maybe a training need on the part of the employer as well, but it's maybe also a human problem, because a person is coming, they've got their own issues, and they're struggling. So they take it out at work. Yeah. So I've lost track of my mind. Oh dear. I prefer pre-recorded, because I don't lose track of what I'm saying. So I was telling you guys a testimony, because you know what, I'm going through menopause. I'm getting old. So I'm sorry, I'm going off track. I've got a fan right here blowing into my face, guys. So I lost my thoughts completely. What was I saying? Anyway, I was telling you guys a testimony of when problems happen, right? Yeah, good, I'm back. So when a problem happens, we advise on options. What options are available to you as a person? Look for other employers. We help you to look for employers, look for alternative work. If it's not working, it's not working. So look for another job. And that's always available. It's always, anyone can do that. You can look for another job. No one stops you. You're not a prisoner. So if your relative comes and they've got crisis, there's no need to be naming and shaming each other. There's no need. If you try talking, it doesn't work. If you try resolving, it doesn't work. If you're dealing with a person who's got a hard head and you just don't know how you're going to deal with them, you look for another job. You apply, and you get another job and you move. You are allowed to do that in your sector. So you are allowed to do that. There's no one stopping you. Registered nurses, they do that all the time. They move. They come with Barchester. They move to NHS. They go to another nursing home. All the time, they move. So you are allowed to move. So you don't have to feel scared with my relative, achafira pano or anything like that, or you are the person who's working. Sometimes another thing that I've said to another group I was speaking to on Monday who are coming, I was talking on they're having a preparation. So the employers, they prepare them whilst they're still in Africa, in Zim, sorry, most of them are in Zimbabwe. They prepare them and they coach them. So they do like coaching to prepare them before they come, of mindset, because sometimes it's your mindset that needs to shift first. So I was talking to a group and I was explaining to them how I recall working in a factory, 12 hours shift from 6 to 6, 6 days a week, Monday to Saturday, in a factory every day. But it wasn't just any factory. It was the factory was called Sun Valley Foods, and it was making food for Marks and Spencer. But we worked in the fridge, so most of us, we didn't even know what we looked like, because we used to have these helmets, hats, visors, overalls, overalls, warm clothes, because it was very cold. And imagine you've just come from Zimbabwe and you're used to sunshine, and you're working in a fridge in minus temperatures. And we worked in there, we experienced racism, discrimination, everything. I was even laughing, sharing a joke that we once had a demonstration and we started singing songs of liberation. I was at UZ, at the law faculty. We used to take part in demonstrations. So when I came here, I didn't like injustice. So in the factory, we started demonstrating. We became a comrade, and we were singing songs from the liberation struggle, because we didn't, we're singing care, don't care. And we were just demonstrating because it was hard. And that's another thing that to take away for people, that when they come, it's important for them to know that it's not going to be easy. So sometimes it feels like it's the employer's fault. Sometimes it is. I'm not refusing that, right? But sometimes it's just a case of adjusting. It's just a case of transition. It's just a case of are you getting used to the cold, to the isolation, to the loneliness, to the accents, to the food, and the sheer hard work. So you need to give yourself time to adjust. Jaira, you get used to it. So like even us, when we were working in that factory, we got used to it. And when we used to sing songs from the liberation struggle, it was to motivate ourselves, to encourage each other. We made friends. We used to go in a minibus together. Up to now, all of us, we still know each other from that job. And the person who invited me to speak on the coaching, I used to work with him there at that factory years ago. And so he was saying we need to help people before they come, so they understand. And I think it's really important for people who've just arrived that there's no microwave fix things. You've got to do the time. If it means you've just got to work for a while, put your head down, get used to it, find ways to cope, you will get through. You get your indefinite, you get your British citizenship, you can do what you want. It's only 5 years. I don't know if anyone who's also been through the same journey. I've been through a journey. I counted how much money we paid as a family until we got our British passports. It came up to I think £35,000 that we paid, and it was cheap then, because now it's even more expensive. So if you're able to come on this visa, work for 5 years, you get your indefinite leave. Come on, even if it's just wonderful. Because in my line of work, even now I'm working with people who've been here for 20 years. 20 years, they still don't have papers. So this opportunity, when it comes, take it with both hands. Within reason, not abuse, but within reason, work. And just know that it is what it is. I have to just grind. It may not be nice, it may not be pleasant, but let's not focus on the minor, focus on the major. And get on with it. So, and get your indefinite. So that's the type of support that we give. Sometimes somebody just needs someone to stand with them, to encourage them, to tell them you can do this, come on. And within weeks, they're finished. But sometimes it's not working, and we help you to get alternatives. You then look for somewhere else. And most people that we've supported, they've gone to work in other stuff, and they're happy, they're good. I know one person who's actually moved 2 jobs because they keep looking for what fits them, and now they're happy. We support people in their marriages, because marriage, it gets, it goes through the fire when you come here. it goes through the fire. So we support people in that area. We support holistically. You know, we help people in every area. Children are being bullied at school. That's what we do at Tulia. We look at the whole person, and we problem solve with you to say, what can we do and how can we help you? If we can't, we don't. And so be encouraged. Be encouraged. If it's not working, you can move. You're not a prisoner. You can move. Right? And I think our live for today on sponsorships is over. I'm not seeing the comments, so I don't know if there's any questions or anything. I only saw one question from Ronica. I can't see, but I would have loved to see if there are any questions, because that would really help me. But it is well. I honestly, let me look. Yeah, that's strange. Anyway, so if there's the other issue that I think we had that we wanted to talk about, I know I wanted to give a step-to-step guide, a checklist for documents, but potential issues, yes, this is another question that we get quite a lot. If you were in the UK before and you overstayed, how to deal with that. So there's people who've gone back to their countries of origin. They came here, it wasn't working, they had no papers, they went back. Can you come back? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, and that's good news, you know, because you come back, but you have to have stayed in your country of origin. If you just left voluntarily and you were not deported or removed, so removed, not deported. Deported is different, but removed at the state, at the expense of the state, you just left by yourself. It's 1 year that you're banned, and then you can reapply and come back. But if you were removed, it's 5 to 10 years, so between 5 and 10. So you need to know what the ban was, the mandatory ban. Know what it is before you apply. So always just check with the solicitor. Check. I'm a solicitor. I can advise you on that. Check with me. Check with any other solicitors, or just be careful. You know, just get the advice. Check to see. Even request your file from the Home Office. Just check to see what's there, and we can check to see what ban you had. But if you did live in the UK before and you want to come back, you realize, okay, it wasn't that bad, you can. So I've actually helped quite a few of my clients who either went back voluntarily or who were removed, and they've come back from Nigeria, from Gambia, and some from Zimbabwe, and it's lovely for them to be back. And now when they come back, sometimes you come back more focused, you know what you're doing, you just get on with it, and you've known namo yema paper or troubles of papers. So yes, if you have been here before and you can come back. But what I want to encourage people is, don't lie on your forms, don't tell lies, don't use fake documents, don't change your name and pretend. Just come, tell the truth. I was there, I left, and I overstayed, and then you can come back. If your case is more complex and you've got criminal offenses and you were deported, that's different. Because if you've got a deportation order, you have to apply for a revocation of that deportation order first, and you probably wouldn't be able to work in health and social care anyway. So if you're a person who's been deported, then it's different. But if you're just a person who left by themselves or who overstayed and was removed, then you can apply. So there's a difference in that. Right, thank you so much for joining me, guys. I think I don't see my questions. If there are any questions, please post them. The other thing, I have just had a question on my WhatsApp. Somebody asked me, they are here, they are illegal, can they go on to this visa? No. You can't switch on to it if you don't have any papers and if you're illegal. So that's the short answer to that. But you can make a decision, a risk, a gamble, to go back to your country, your country of origin, and reapply after you finished your ban, and come back as a skilled worker. It's an option that you can do, because you know what, I want to be honest, sometimes we go round in circles. looking for papers and staying in homelessness, in destitute, in really hard places. And sometimes you can make that tough decision that, okay, no, I'm going to go and then I'll come back. You go, you regroup, and you reapply and come back. It's not so straightforward, because getting the jobs is hard work in itself. But it is an option, it is an option. It's not an easy option, but it is an option. And there's some people who we are talking about that, and it seems possible, people from Botswana, from other countries, and we're talking about it, and they're saying, you know what, maybe I can just go back for a bit and then come back as a carer, or I can go back, go to university, and then come back. I can actually save my money. There's so many universities, like in Zimbabwe, for example, there's many universities. So, sometimes there's no need to keep doing the same thing. We're just praying, and it's not, we're not getting any answers. It feels like we're not getting any answers. But sometimes it's action. This opportunity is here to work. Maybe you could just return go and do nursing in Zambia. 3 years goes fast, and then you get your work experience and you come back, or go and do nursing, or go and do social work, or go and do that. So that's another option. That's there. So there's loads and loads of options for people who are stuck, for people who want to come. There's loads and loads and loads of options. So thank you very much for joining today on Tulia Immigration Fridays. Today we were just talking about sponsorship. If you've got more questions, we can probably do another one next week, or we can we can answer the questions in the chat. I think one of my colleagues can probably answer them in the chat. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. If you do need any help, I'm going to post a link to our website on here. Today we are not in the office. We're all working from home because the sun is shining. So we decided that we're going to just work from home, enjoy the heat wave, work in the sun, and we are not in the office. So I don't have anyone who can post links for me, because I think they're not here on the live. Next week is Refugee Week, and look out on our page Tulia for some of the events that are happening in Coventry and all across the country. The theme this year is healing, and healing is needed in refugee communities. So look out for that. Look out on our website for upcoming events that we'll be doing in the second half of the year. Tomorrow we have an event, our first face-to-face event. So it's hosted by Tulia and Flourish. So what we do is we love migrants, we just do. And when you come here, people have problems, they have sometimes. Everyone has problems in life, but as immigrants, sometimes you're isolated. So we run what's called a recovery from divorce and separation course, and we've run quite a few of them. Dr. Justice Marwisa facilitates and runs it. He's amazing. He's in Zimbabwe, and his wife, Pamela Marwisa, they do the course, and we host it. And so we've done it on Zoom, and it's been so amazing. But tomorrow we get to meet and some of the people that we've never met, but we know each other's life stories. We've shared life and recovered together and recovering together. So tomorrow in Coventry, we've got our very first face-to-face event. It's called Flourish. Other people who haven't been through our programs can attend, and we've got amazing speakers there. We've got my darling sister-in-law, who is a property investor, who's going to be empowering people about how to move on from heartbreak or from disappointment and get up onto the property ladder and empower economically. We've got Beatrice, who's going to be talking about parenting. We've got Mary, who's going to be talking about overcoming rejection. We've got Lorraine, who's coming about branding and personal branding, and myself. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it. You may see the flyer on our pages. It's in Coventry, so look out for any of the events that we're doing on our website or on our pages. And I think we do have some new arrivals who are coming as well, people that we've supported who are newly arrived skilled workers as well. We've got some people who are coming, and we've got lots of good news to share, and it's a day of celebration. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and thank you so much for joining. Be blessed and have a great day. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Hope that's been useful for you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.